Hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Lizzie, and for today's video I am super excited because we are watching one of my favorite horror films of all time, and that is Carrie. I love this film. If you're not aware of that, you should be. Definitely check out my Instagram because I did a whole Carrie inspired photo shoot. So it's garbage candy just like on everything else. So this is one that when I saw it was on this list, I was so super excited to watch this film. It's one of those films that I remember watching like way back when, obviously not like when it came out, but back when I was younger, and was just a film that I absolutely loved. Even before I deep dived into horror. And I probably said that this was my favorite horror film of all time for a really long time. Obviously, I love the Scream franchise, but this one definitely holds a very special place in my heart. Of course, it is the original, and it is one that I actually already own. Actually, it's really awesome. I got this Blu-ray DVD combo pack from Big Lots for $3. So I do not have a Blu-ray player. Matt does have an Xbox One, which of course plays Blu-ray. I am old school. I have the Xbox 360 because literally, like, I only use it to watch stuff on it. Not a gamer. So exciting that this has like a DVD part as well. I just recently got it, so that's why it's not open yet. But yeah, I'm excited to bust this bad girl open. And yeah, get to watch this one. And I obviously, you can tell the pre-thoughts are that I already fucking love this film. But yeah, I have not reviewed this on my channel, surprisingly enough, yet. So I'm excited to really watch this again, and really pay attention to it, even though I've seen it a million times, and give you guys my more in-depth thoughts after I watch it. So I will be right back. Oh man, guys, this is such a good film. I'm so excited. I love this movie, and I just love rewatching it. So for anybody who maybe doesn't know what Carrie is about this 16, I believe she's supposed to be, year-old girl who is obviously in high school, and she's a total outcast. She's bullied by basically all of her like fellow female classmates. She's also raised by a very like crazy-ishly religious mother who abuses her. There's points where she like locks her in this closet, and like it's just horrible to her, and she really doesn't teach her about like anything in kind of the outside world, and you know, the things you kind of need to know as a teenage girl, like her period, which comes into play in an opening scene, which we will definitely talk about. But yeah, she's just this very sad girl who at one point figures out that she has telekinetic powers, which she eventually ends up using. But yeah, to just get into some of the stuff I love about this film. So you have this scene, and it's not the very opening scene. The movie actually starts with Carrie and her fellow female classmates in their like PE class and playing volleyball, I think, and they take it way too seriously. They basically kind of lose because of Carrie, or team does. And then the next shot is them like cleaning up afterwards, and one of the things that I love about the shot is that it is this very like overtly sexual scene, which is definitely very like awkward given the fact that they are supposed to be like teenage girls, which is a very odd aspect of horror just in general. But you have this overtly sexual scene that, including Carrie's part, like especially when it gets to Carrie, because it's going through the gym lockers, and you know, you're seeing all the other characters, and then you get to Carrie, who is showering, and it's her touching herself, not like that way necessarily, but her like cleaning herself. But it's done to like this music, and it's very like slow motion, and it's very weird. And I mean, horror's always had like a sexual aspect to it. But in the midst of this scene, Carrie starts to notice blood coming from her vagina. We're gonna say it, we're adults here. And she loses it. She starts freaking out. She's reaching out towards her other classmates. She is freaking. She has no clue what's going on because, like I mentioned, her mother didn't teach her about anything to do with the outside world or being a teenage girl. And I'm like, what kind of sex education? But I'm assuming her mom probably didn't allow her to take that, and so she really has no clue what is going on, and her fellow students start to bully her, and it's a really heartbreaking, really just like horrible scene, and you feel for Carrie, and you really get like an idea of like what she goes through at school, just with like constant bullying. Obviously not the first time that this has happened to her. A bullying situation has happened to her, and it's a horrible situation, but it is a fantastic scene. I mean, Sissy Speck, who plays Carrie, her acting just in that scene and in this film in general is amazing. And it's such a good like starter scene for this film to just really give you the feel of how like twisted this film could possibly be, and just what Carrie has gone through. Now, Carrie is luckily enough saved by a gym teacher who really like comes to her defense throughout like this entire film, and I love that gym teacher. She is a total badass. I mean, she takes it out on some of the fellow students and the bullies, especially the kind of leader of the group, this horrible girl named Chris, who really is just like the instigator for like everything bullying her. She's just the total mean girl of the school and gets everybody to like participate in everything. And this gym teacher really like gets on her about her just being horrible, and I love that gym teacher. I mean, she slaps students. She makes them just like basically run in place for like 50 minutes as their like detention. Stuff that would definitely not fly today. Not sure if it even did back then, but I mean, those students are horrible and they totally deserve it. So I love that gym teacher. Things start to kind of look up for Carrie a little bit. Obviously, like, her mother's just still doing horrible things. She basically tells Carrie that she obviously had to have sinned and done something wrong for her to get this blood curse, and Carrie knows that her mom's like full of it. She really does start to discover that more and more as the film goes on, and it definitely rocks the relationship that they've had so far, where you can tell that like Carrie's really just been this submissive person to her mother, and has kind of always just gone along with what she says. But now as Carrie, you know, she's getting older, she's starting to realize that her mom's lied to her, and that her mom's just basically full of it. So yeah, their relationship definitely is rocky in this film, but things outside of that seem to kind of look up for Carrie. You have this one girl who you can kind of tell she hasn't really been like a bully to Carrie up until that kind of opening scene. She kind of that mom mentality, participates in the bullying of Carrie during the shower scene, but you gather that that's really kind of like the only time that she's really done that, maybe. Like, she seems to be a bit of a crowd follower, but seems like outside of that incident a generally nice person. She feels guilt right away. Her name is Sue, I believe. And that's the right character. Sorry, they've got a few characters in this. There's quite a few characters in this, but she feels guilt like pretty much right away. So she tries to make it up to Carrie by convincing her boyfriend Tommy to actually take Carrie to prom. It's senior prom. Obviously, like, Carrie's not a senior, but these girls are. So she convinces her boyfriend Tommy to take Carrie to prom. Carrie says no at first, but eventually she gives in. And they actually, like, the Tommy and Sue characters, they're both really, like, good people. Obviously, like, outside of this first incident with Sue, but she really does work to make it up to her. And Tommy seems like a generally, like, really good guy. I mean, he's obviously doing this and, like, taking her to prom on Sue's behalf, but he doesn't make that obvious. And he really is, like, very nice to Carrie throughout this. He like dances with her and just, you know, like, comforts her, tells her, like, hey, like, I want to be here with you. Like, I took you because I wanted to. And of course, Carrie's kind of skeptical about it, but he really does, like, work to convince her, you know, just that he does care. And he seems to actually generally do care about Carrie, in his own way, and seems like an actually really great guy, which makes it very sad. But so they go to prom and they have a great time, but this Chris character has another idea in mind. She basically decided not to participate in the detention of going to the gym and running place, so instead she ends up getting suspended and is no longer allowed to go to prom. So her and her boyfriend do this elaborate plan, and I'm sure you guys know, but they set it up to for Carrie and Tom to actually win King and Queen, prom king and queen. For anybody who maybe is outside America and doesn't know what that is, basically it's a thing that we have here where people vote for, you know, king and queen couples for the prom and homecoming and other dances. Anyway, it's kind of silliness, but they rig it so that those two win, and then when they do win and they're up on stage accepting their crowns and whatnot, they have this bucket full of blood rigged to fall on top of Carrie, and, you know, real sad, poor Carrie. And she gets covered in pig's blood, and there's this whole scene with them, like, going to get the pig's blood, and one of the friends is, like, taunting the pigs and talking about, like, what he's gonna do, and I hate that scene every time it comes up. I'm like, no, like, but I just hate that scene. Anyway, so that happens, pig's blood falls on Carrie, and she understandably ignites her telekinetic powers, I guess is how you could say it, and locks all the fellow students in, except for Sue, who ends up actually getting kicked out. She kind of, like, sneaks in, and ends up getting caught by the gym teacher, who thinks that she's the one who's up to something, so she kicks her out, and Carrie wreaks havoc, and there's fires, and there's damage, and the whole school's burning down. She gets out, and obviously Sue, and then she goes home to her mother, who is yet again abusing her and just telling Carrie how, like, basically it's all her fault, and she's brought this all upon her. And then her mom tries to stab and kill her, so Carrie uses more telekinesis to take down her own mom, but unfortunately dies in the process. So that is basically, well, I didn't mean to go on like a total range about like everything that happened in this film, but oh well, I did. So yeah, that's all that basically happens in Carrie, except for the very end, which I won't. There is like a little kind of ending final moment for Sue that I'm not really gonna get into, but it is a great ending. It's like heart like pounded moments. No matter how many times I watch it, that final shot is like ooh. But yeah, oh man, this is such a good film. I love it. There's not really much I don't like about this film. I feel like everybody does a really fantastic job. The story flows well. There's really not any moments that are too overwhelming or feel like they need to be cut out. Everything really is like fits perfectly. This film, I didn't mention, it is a adaptation of a Stephen King novel. I have not read the novel. I really should, given the fact that this is probably like my favorite Stephen King adaptation. And I say that having not read the novel, but maybe someday. So I'm just going off of what I know from the film, obviously. And yeah, it's so good. If you, for whatever reason, have not seen this film, even though I just told you everything that happens, I'm sure most of you know. I highly suggest checking this one out. They also did a remake in, I don't know, 2000 something. It's not a bad film. I actually didn't hate the remake. It's not great. It's too over CGI'd. But I mean, I know a lot of people hated it. It didn't need to be made, but I didn't hate it. But this one, of course, is definitely better. And I highly suggest checking it out if for whatever reason you have not seen it. But if you have seen it, let me know what you think about it in the comments below. Do you love this one as much as I do? If you have read the novel, let me know your opinions on that, and any comparison thoughts that you have between the book and the film. If you did enjoy this, please do give it a big old thumbs up. Make sure that you hit the subscribe button for more horror-related content. And before I go, a quick shout out to my Patreons. Thank you guys so much for helping to contribute to the channel. If you want to know the perks to being a Patreon, links are in the description below, along with all of my other social media, including a link to my Instagram where you can see that photo shoot that I mentioned before that is Carrie themed. And I will see you guys again tomorrow with another video. Bye!